I hope that you are or you learned from our previous two meetings. I hope that those concepts that we have covered are useful, and I hope that you will um, be able to recognize those as applied in the different research that you will be reviewing for the systematic literature review. All right, so we are now going or starting our systematic literature review. Again, I emphasize that the systematic literature review is your way of familiarizing these approaches. This is not the conventional way of teaching methods of research because I don't want to teach you the boring aspects of methods of research. Teaching you the methods of research is very boring. I want you to explore and investigate these methods yourself. I want you to appreciate these different approaches and methods as they are being used in actual research or in actual research report. Okay, so but basically those preliminaries that we had will be very useful as everything about research will revolve around those, especially the two major approaches, the specific designs and some of the techniques in carrying out those designs. I hope that you also took time to review our discussion, especially the posted video recordings and the materials I sent or the slides that I sent. I hope that you took time to study those or to review those. Okay, so the next couple of days until we end the semester is going to be a bit um, time demanding for us as we will be engaging in an actual systematic literature review. So, to jumpstart our systematic literature review, I asked you last time to prepare your critical questions. I gave an assignment on the critical questions, and I hope that you will be able to elaborate those critical questions, especially how it emerged from the chosen topic and how this the topic becomes or how did you decide to deal with this topic. I'll be, as I have said in the assignment, I instructed you to prepare for the oral presentation of those topics as we will be discussing those today. I'll be giving comments regarding those chosen topics and critical questions. Okay, so that's going to be what we will cover for the next 3 hours. I hope that we will be able to present all our critical questions, and I will be able to guide all of you how to advance in the actual search for studies or related studies uh, based on your chosen topic and the critical question. Okay, so I can start by asking volunteers to begin. The task is to simply present your assignment, and I'll be asking some classmates of yours to comment, and also I'll be giving comment myself. Okay. You may ask me to screen share it for you if you are not using a laptop at this point, or if you're in mobile at this point. But I would prefer that you will be the one to share screen. I already permitted or authorized everyone to share screen, or I allowed everyone to share screen. So you can share your screen and show to us your assignment or the assignment that you have submitted to Google Classroom. There are still those who did not submit, and I won't remind you again. I will just let you take responsibility of that assignment. So please comply with the assignment. Submit those uh, who were not able to submit yet. Okay, so I'll ask for volunteers who would like to speak first. Good morning. Who wants to speak first? Cindy, you want to start?
Hi, sir.
Yes, Cindy.
Sir, I cannot screen share because I'm using a mobile.
Okay, so I'll screen share for you. Don't worry. Walay,
Oh my God.
walay lusot, day.
Sir, di ba ko sure ani? Oh my gosh.
Sige lang. Daghan mong dili sure. Okay. Don't worry, everybody will present anyway. So it's just a matter of who presents first. Who ang tawag dito sa mga research conferences and research review procedures, ang tawag dito ay okrayan. So nasa okrayan stage tayo ngayon. So mag-o-okrayan tayo. So it's okay. We do that in research. Mag-o-okrayan
Hello,
tayo. So which
friends.
one here will have the one you submitted at 3 a.m. or the one you submitted at 9 a.m.?
At 9 a.m., sir.
Okay, so
Because
there's
wrong grammar.
okay, please stand by everyone. You'll have your time to present anyway. So, okay. Are you seeing my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Everyone? Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Okay. So, Cindy, let me know if you want me to scroll down.
Right, yes, sir.
Okay, you start.
Okay, so I chose the topic COVID-19's effect in tourism industry since I'm part of the tourism industry and I'm actually taking up master MBA in hospitality management.
All right.
So my critical question, scroll down, sir.
Sure, mom.
Thank you. Thank you. How would the accommodation industry in the Polog City adapt to the new normal as a step in rebuilding the industry? Since we all know it's affecting, the COVID-19 is affecting the accommodation industry in all places. So to make it answerable, sir, I focused on the Polog City.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and you said for a critical question, it should be um, answerable, but not yet answered.
Mm-hmm.
So I was not getting answers yet as
Okay.
to how they would, yeah, adapt to the new normal.
All right.
So that's why I chose this question.
Continue.
Scroll down. Kindly scroll down, sir.
Sure, mom.
Okay, so for standard, the research question reflects the author's theoretical orientation. So I actually don't have any idea of what's theoretical orientation, so I searched about it, and and according to my research, it belongs to a problem solving theory since it's asking on how to adapt for the new normal.
Okay.
So, in problem solving theory, there is strength in the awareness and willingness to explore positive and supported change. So, that's yes.
Mm-hmm.
Next, the research question carries a broad value that extends beyond the author's own personal curiosity or self serving interest. I still answered yes, since aside from me, who is curious about how the accommodation industry will adapt to the new normal, I think this will be useful as well to other cities because
Mm-hmm.
I think other countries already have solution that they're going to apply. So for small cities like the Polo City, maybe they can, maybe other cities or the Pitan City, for example, can also adopt what the Polog City will be doing and how to adopt the new normal as a
All
step
right.
in rebuilding the industry. Yes. So the research question does extend my curiosity and interest in a way that whatever solution it will provide,
Mm-hmm.
this can be applied by anyone within the industry. COVID
Okay.
19 did not only affect the Pasig City or the whole country. This issue is distressing the tourism industry worldwide.
All right.
Next, the research question represents an area and the discipline that truly warrants a meticulous review. I still answered yes. We need to review what were the actions taken by the accommodation industry in Dipolog City, as why they were still able to operate until now amidst the community quarantine that started last 15th of March. And are they
Okay.
going to apply the same method, or what plans are they developing in order to survive?
All right.
Okay. Next is research on the topic or issue that undergirds the critical question must be sufficiently mature to support an in-depth interrogation. I still answered yes. The
Okay.
COVID-19 impacts on tourism industry create further pressures on the accommodation side that are severely affected by the pandemic. So
Okay.
that really needs a interrogation. Next, the research question must be an unanswered but answerable question. So that's why to make it answerable question, sir, I focused on the Polog City. And since it was not answered yet, because we are still in the pandemic period, so I think that will be answered. If okay na siya. So the
Okay.
research question is very specific in its scope. It focuses on the accommodation industry in the Pollock City. The author has clearly established what is already known and what needs to be known about the topic or issue. I still said yes. Technology and automation are few of the solutions adopted in some countries based on my research. But would this be applicable in the Polog City, considering that we have a problem in the internet connection and the lifestyle of the city as well? Because based on my observation, some of the hotels are not that picky and automated in,
Mhm.
especially in the reservation. Next, the rationale of the systematic literature review is lucidly and strongly made. I still said yes, because gaps can be seen along the study, but the research question is focused in identifying the action plan of the accommodation industry in the Polog City and how they respond to the challenges of the new normal.
All right. Thank you so much. Before I'll give my comments, I'd like to show something. Perhaps this is going
Mm.
to help everyone understand what we are doing. Hmm. Hold on. Okay. So there's this very important question that you should ask or you should answer before or in undertaking this planning for the systematic literature review or setting the critical question for your systematic literature review. We can ask ourselves, can we safely assume that the question we are posing has never been answered somewhere else? So that's one thing that I want you to answer to help you decide on the topic and to help you later to revise or to develop or to improve what you have planned. To illustrate that question, if you put a circle in the middle, and that circle is the answer to your critical question, that answer to the critical question cannot be coming just from one study only or from one document or from one data only. This means that
Mm-mm.
this answer to the critical question is going to be a synthesis of several studies conducted or a synthesis of the different data that can help you tell about the question that you asked or that can help you answer the question that you asked. So order to apply this in evaluating our critical questions, I'd like you to look at your critical question and see if would there be a study somewhere perhaps that could by itself provide answers to my question. So if there's a study somewhere or a two or three study somewhere that can sufficiently answer your critical question, that might not be a good critical question because it will not entail critical analysis. Ma'am Ana, it cannot be
Yes,
a
sir.
critical question because it may not entail critical analysis because what's there to critically analyze if everything has been provided already by a study or two studies or two reports. So that means that when you pose a critical question, this is not an easy to answer question, or this is not a question that is easy to answer. It means that it has to entail reading of several studies or several reports or several data so that you will be able to answer those. Remember that what we are doing is a systematic literature review. We will not be gathering empirical data by ourselves. We will be dealing with secondary data, or we will be dealing with reports. We will be reporting or we will be investigating reports, not uh, data or not raw data. Who's that? I'm gonna mute you, Ma'am Ana, first so that who's this? Ma'am Ana Reza. You have two accounts. That must be the reason of the feedback. Anyway, I hope it's clear. Okay, so I'll proceed by giving comments regarding the critical question of Ma'am Cindy. Let's start with the topic first. All right. So topic is about the COVID-19's effect on tourism industry. That's a very good topic. Okay. So excellent choice of topic, very timely, and that's a good topic because
Thank you,
it's
sir.
broad. It cannot be answered by a single, or it cannot be explored by just a single investigation. It entails a lot of studies or a lot of work to be able to help you and deal with that topic. Now let's go to the critical question. How would the
Mm.
accommodation industry in Dipolog City adapt to the new normal as a step in rebuilding the industry? Let's go back to the question. Sorry. Are you
Yes,
seeing
sir.
the messenger message?
Yes, sir.
Oh my God. So you will be seeing everything. Okay. Sorry. It's the president that's texting. That's ano. How would the accommodation industry in Dipolog City? You focus on Dipolog City. The
Yes,
question
sir.
that I pose is, wouldn't this be answered by somewhere else? Wouldn't there be a single document that can answer this?
Mm.
The probability, can you the my qualifier is, can you safely assume that nobody else has ever answered this?
Mm.
If you are,
Um,
yeah, go ahead.
because I believe other cities have different problems, or so maybe they are going to adopt
Yeah, but
other ways.
yeah, but would there be ano? Would can you safely assume or can you safely conclude that there's nobody else yet has ever done this?
Hmm. In Dipolog City, yes.
Yes. Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
All right. So my
Yes.
next question is, uh, how many studies would it take to answer this question? How many reports do you think would be needed to answer this question?
um, uh, uh, sh- is it considerable, sir? The hotel reports.
That's right. You can consider that, or the report of the
Yeah.
tourism office.
Yes, sir.
All right. So that's my point because it becomes restrictive if number one, It may entail just getting a report from the tourism office to answer this question.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big possibility that the tourism industry has already done that, or there is an ongoing study of the tourism industry. So there's no more point of doing the literature or systematic literature review anymore, because you will not be dealing with studies about this anymore, because
Mm.
basically you will be just looking at the report of the tourism office. It's highly
So only
probable that,
one source.
yes, yeah, there's only one source, and it's highly
Mm-hmm.
probable that they are doing on this, or they're investigating this now, knowing that they really want to rebuild the tourism industry. What do you think was the reason why Boracay was reopened? It's because they have the data already, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's highly probable that in Dipolog City, there's already that data that they're working
I
on.
see.
I'm not saying that it's yes, but it could be. So if I'm going to ask you to revise this, I'm going to again go back to the second criteria. The research question carries a broad value that extends beyond the author's personal curiosity or self serving interest. So, what can carry a broad value? Let it, um, you know, you extrapolate your potential impact wider than Dipolog City, or wider than Zamboanga del Norte. Perhaps you can ask, uh, what does or what or how does the tourism industry in Dipolog City look like 10 years from now,
Mm-hmm.
which is a projection, which may not necessarily just build on Dipolog City data. Because when you project, when you forecast, you will not be just looking at your own data. You can look at data of other reports as well, which means that you will be needing several reports. You can have report of your city or your context, and then you compare it with the reports of others and see a pattern, or see
Mm-hmm.
factors that can help you forecast, or how will tourism industry will look like in the future. So that's one thing. So that's one
Mm-hmm.
improvement that I can cite, or that I can recommend. You can think of others. When you ask yourself, how will the Polog City tourism industry look like 5 years from now? Okay, so there can be a projection, but
Mm-hmm.
you may need comparative
Research.
analysis
Mm-hmm.
of our data in the Polog City, our tourism data in the Polog City, as to other similar contexts or other contexts all over the world, especially with the pandemic. So that's one. You can
Mm-hmm.
explore others, so that it's going to be it will entail critical analysis, because if you will ask, how will the how would the
The
accommodation industry in
policy.
the Polo City adapt? They have their measures already. All you need to do is just to write them. So that's the
Mm.
difference when you copy something, or when you analyze something. So in this case, I want you to analyze critically. Next.
Okay.
The second question is an excellent proof or compliance elaboration. The research question does extend my curiosity, because it may not just help the Polog City, but the whole country. Okay, so why not
Mm-hmm.
focus on the whole country? How do we project tourism industry 5 years from now in the Philippines? You don't have to limit it, because you'll be dealing with secondary data. It's not expensive. One of the reasons why people are hesitant, or reluctant to use many, or to extend the scope of their research,
Mm-hmm.
is the expenses, or the research
Yes.
expenses to get the samples. But this time you will not be getting samples, you will not be interviewing, you will just be reading. So I would encourage you to go outside. 'Di ba,
The policy.
usually we say na you limit it to narrow the scope. This one I want you to broaden the scope, because
Mm-hmm.
once you broaden the scope, that could have several answer directions along the way. So that could help you. You focus on the Philippine as a whole. Analyze
Okay.
how will the Philippine tourism industry will look like in the next 5 years, for example, or in the next 10 years. The research question represents an area and discipline that truly warrants a meticulous review. How do you, how did you elaborate? We need to review that what were the actions taken by the accommodation industry in the Pollock City. So, um, I wouldn't just focus on actions taken by the accommodation industry. As we have said, you can focus on the Philippine context. So now,
Mm-hmm.
my next step the next thing that I want you to look at is the frameworks, the legal frameworks, the policies of the Philippine tourism industry that can help Philippine tourism industry sustain even this time of pandemic, 'di ba? How stable is
Yes.
our or are our policies or are our legal frameworks? How relevant are our legal frameworks? Is there a need to revise aspects of our legal frameworks in tourism industry such that when we are hit with a pandemic, we are more flexible to adopt new uh, procedures or new methods and rebuild. So parang is it inherent in our legal frameworks or is business continuity aspect inherent in our legal frameworks? Can we be certain that uh, through our legal frameworks the tourism industry is being protected or the tourism industry is being
Mm-hmm.
um, provided with enough support by the government? So that's one thing you can look at. So it's not just about what people in the Polog City is doing. It's about our framework in general or our
Okay.
policies
Yes.
in general. So that entails critical analysis. 'Di ba? If you just focus on what the Polog is doing, you will just be getting data, how they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are going to analyze, is this relevant? Is this helping the Philippine context? Is this still applicable to our context now? So that's one area. Next, research on the topic or issue that undergirds the critical question must be sufficiently mature to support an in-depth interrogation. I have no question on this because I know that research on tourism industry and research on tourism and amid the pandemic is well studied. So you can get a lot of insights from there. So you will not run out of resources or references for that because one of the best or one of the greatest hit industries is actually tourism.
The tourism, yes.
Yeah, you have a lot of things to, you have a lot of resources for that. So this one, I would agree. The research question must be unanswered but answerable.
Yeah.
Kulang? Okay, I have
Yes, sir.
elaborated that.
Mm-hmm.
The author has clearly established what is already known. I would see this in your first draft in the introduction. Okay. The rationale of the systematic literature review is lucidly and strongly made. Okay, so you're talking of the gaps, and yes, that's correct. You talk about the gaps and how would this help? Okay, so how would this help the tourism industry? How would this help prepare for that? Are you seeing a further decline of the tourism industry in the next 5 years? Or you're seeing a boost in our tourism industry in the next 5 years? May ano ba? May recoil ba ang ating
Mm-hmm.
economy to help boost the tourism industry? Or you're seeing an eventual death of the tourism industry? Something like that. Okay, so let's go back to your
That's
proposal.
true.
Okay, so if you look at the standards, we have standard about the orientation of the research question. By the way, you said kanina you do not know what a theoretical orientation is, but you know what?
Yes,
You
sir.
have already said it. Prior to talking about these standards, you have said that this is because I am into tourism industry and I'm taking
Oh, okay.
masters in tourism or hotel and restaurant
HM.
management. Yes.
HRM.
And that is your theoretical orientation because your
Okay.
theories about knowledge generation, knowledge production revolve around the tourism industry. So this explains why you are interested in this. Okay, so if you're a teacher, you're teaching grade 5 students mathematics, and you'll be dealing with this question. That is a questionable alignment, because apparently that this question doesn't align to your theoretical orientation. But this one is, you have already explained it. So I just want you to write what you have explained there. So when you draft the introduction later, and when you answer this, I want you to express who you are, why you're
Yes.
interested in this, and how will this help the discipline that you belong to, or how will this help hotel and restaurant management. All right. So
Okay.
I want you to look at the different components of the assignment. You have the research question that reflects the theoretical orientation of the author, the research question that extends beyond the author's own personal curiosity, the research
Mm.
question that is truly
Warrants
representative
good.
of an area that needs to be uh, investigated. These are all components of your introduction. Okay, so you asked
Okay.
last time, sir, tagaan na lagi mi ukuan and then gipasulat mi sa ano. So we're taking things slowly. Okay, so the next step that we will be doing after this is actually the introduction. So when you write your introduction, you will be answering this question. So this becomes your outline in writing your introduction. However, you will frame your paragraphs in the introduction. Basically, I want your introduction to answer these questions or to give support to these questions. Okay, so especially this one. The systematic literature review objectives are lucidly and strongly made, or the reason why the systematic literature review is being conducted is lucidly and strongly made. So you argue strongly that there is a need for this systematic literature review. So I don't know if you notice it, but this is your introduction content. Okay, so we're slowly writing the introduction before we proceed to methods. All right, so I hope you're getting something from that, and the rest of the your classmates. I hope that you are.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right, so I'll ask for some comments, especially from the HRM group. Anyone who would like to comment? Who else are from HRM? We have Nisa. Okay, Ma'am Nisa. Hi, Ma'am Nisa.
Hello, sir.
Any comment on this, Ma'am Nisa? Any insight you can add?
Sir, hello. Ay,
Any insight you can add? Or any comment regarding the...
no, sir.
You have no comment?
Nalibog sa gani ko sa ako, sir. Sakto ba to?
Okay, sige. We'll go to yours later. Anyway, okay, so you have no comment. What about...
Yes, sir. Nothing.
Oh, Ebaw is not joining. Joshua. HRM pa to si Joshua. Joshua, comment.
Sir, sir,
Wait, sir.
sir.
Yes, Joshua, do you have comment? Any insight? Anything you can add?
Uh, who answer kana budget lang sir ha.
Sige lang.
Who answer? With regards to the topic, the topic is really great in terms of sa among field because it tackles with the COVID-19 pandemic.
Mm,
And then kanang Then ko-answer, uh, further further research regarding to that concern because of the matter that the tourism industry is being problematic, especially with the pandemic, because we are interacting with clientels ever so often. So that it's our norm, good and tama. We have interaction to the clientele. And then with this
Mhm.
matter of the COVID-19, how can we implement safety regulations amidst having face-to-face connections with our guests, sir?
Okay.
Ito lang.
Okay. Cindy, you can also consider asking the question of how much we have prepared or how much had the Philippines prepared for a pandemic in terms of our industry legal frameworks, in terms of our
Mhm.
policies. Are our policies preparing the tourism industry for any pandemic like this? So, you
Mhm.
backtrack, for example, unsa itsura sa Pilipinas tourism industry
Before.
before the pandemic?
Mhm.
Nangandam ba ta? You cannot find a single document to answer that.
Mhm.
And it entails critical analysis. So you that's a very marketable research report. If you say that no, the Philippines actually were just very relaxed about our tourism industry. We never prepared for this.
Yes.
We never anticipate. We never uh, even considered considering that we are already operating in a VUCA context or in a VUCA world. But nobody has ever thought of preparing for the complexity of a pandemic.
True. Mhm.
So maybe that's one thing that you can also look at. That's a very interesting and a very useful question. So that the next time, tourism industry will be conscious. Oh, we have to prepare for the something that cannot be avoided. So you prepare for something that
Mhm.
cannot be prepared with.
Mhm.
So yun.
Yes, sir.
Maybe that's one thing. Okay, so thank you so much, Cindy. It's an excellent work.
Thank you, sir.
Congrats. Who's going next to Cindy? Ma'am Annalisa Narbasa. Or we finish all the HRM first. Okay, sige. We'll finish all the HRM first. I'm looking at Ma'am Nisa right now, and I know that she can feel that I'm going to call her next. All right, Ma'am Nisa, it's your
Partner.
turn.
Sir, uy. Saan man ni sir pag share
You just
screen?
share.
Ay, okay.
Actually, you have already the permission to share.
Wait lang, sir.
Take your
Magandang
time.
po, Day! Magandang naman po. Ano ko sa'yo?
Okay na, sir. Nakita na, sir.
Yeah.
Ay, my first time.
First,
Um,
first time sa alin? Mag-report
Mag-share
sa...
screen, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Um, so in this task, sir, I read an article, sir, a short article regarding with the some problems in the hospitality industry. So I don't know, sir, what I am doing, but your comments, sir, are very welcome. Okay, so my topic is economic impact on COVID-19 to hospitality industry.
Oh,
And then
similar.
my critical question, sorry, and then my critical question is, how does the pandemic affects income generation to hospitality industry? So, um,
All right,
based on the standards,
clarification.
sir,
Clarification. How does the pandemic affects income generation or how does the pandemic you're referring to the income of the hospitality industry. Tama
Yes,
ba?
sir.
Okay. Anyway,
Yes,
sige.
sir.
Go ahead.
So, I'm going to proceed to the number one standard is that the research question reflects the author's theoretical orientation. So my answer, sir, is yes. So based on the article, he is a food and beverage manager, as indicated there. So that's why on my elaboration, so the question is closely related to the topic. And since since the author, sir, has a background on that field, he can explain well, or he had some insights about the topic. So
Who is
therefore,
he? Who
um
are you referring to again? The
kani
author of
sir,
the
as akong
article that.
task, sir, yes sir, the article, I read an article
All right.
as my
So
basis
okay.
in completing the task.
You thought it's about the author of the article you are reading.
Yes
Okay.
sir.
Okay. So
Medyo
yeah.
so
So but at this point, you know that it is not. It doesn't refer to the author of the article that you are reading. It refers to you as the author of the research. So at this point, I hope it's clear to everyone that it refers to you as the author.
sus ako ada yung that with the sir.
Yes, like for example, kanina kay Ma'am Cindy, it reflects her theoretical orientation because she is a an HRM student. So yeah. Anyway, continue.
Muna siya, sir. Thank you for that clarification, sir. Nalibo siya ka sa refer ang author. So, the next one is the research question carries a broad value that extends beyond the author's own personal curiosity or self-serving interest. Yes, the research question allows reviewers, and refer it to me, to get together facts from other related categories. So then, um, next is the research question represents an area in the discipline that truly warrants a meticulous review. So this is yes, the theoretical question needs to be reviewed because it needs exploration to address it completely. Since brief Raman to sir, so for me, it needs an elaboration to complete the detail or the information.
All right.
Um,
Nisa, this all refers to the article you were reading, right? Or you read, right?
yes, sir.
So this has nothing to do with your plan or your topic. Okay, so or the topic of the systematic literature review that you're about to conduct. Can you go back? Can you go up to the title and the topic, or to the critical question and the topic?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Nisa, I'd like to uh, to suggest that you can work with Cindy actually. So the two of you can work on one single study together. If Cindy wants to adopt you or to wants to work with you, the two of you can work on a single study or a single systematic literature review. So two heads are better than one, sabi nga nila. So that would be an excellent work if you two would work together. Would you be interested?
Yes, sir, sure.
Cindy, what can you say?
Yes, sir.
100% you are saying yes?
Yes,
Medyo
sir.
baba yung ano niya. Anyway, so I will not be giving comments anymore, Nisa, because I'll be saying the same thing to you. So perhaps you can,
Okay lang.
yeah,
Mas kuan.
Yes.
you two can chat, or you two can communicate with each other, and then come up with a more critical question or a question that requires critical analysis. So I have given some suggestions. Either you look forward or you look backwards. You investigate how much we have prepared for a pandemic. We can never say that nobody because nobody has anticipated a COVID-19 pandemic. Then no, it's an excuse that we have not prepared for that. It cannot be an excuse because we have already known that the world is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. That's the VUCA context of the world, and everybody has to have been ready in their respective industries. So I want you to see that. I want you to check that. Maybe you can. Uh, the reason why it's a critical question is it cannot be answered with just one report. We can be sure. It is safe to assume that there's no single report that will tell you if the Philippines has already prepared for that. You will look at different
So you
policies. Yes,
so it means, sir, that the critical question is considered as the undiscovered one.
that's right. That's
Wala pa
right.
jud siya na iba.
It's undiscovered one, pero alam mo na may mga patingi-tinging report doon. May patingi-tinging study doon. If
Ah,
you look at yung illustration ko kanina, yung nasa gitna yung circle, alam mo na ang sagot doon ay hindi mo na kailangang gather as a primary data. Alam mo na may mga reports na tungkol doon. Except that hindi mo siya masasagot sa iisang report lamang. 'Di ba? Kasi halimbawa kaya tanong
yes,
niya,
sir.
accommodation industry in Dipolog City. Sigurado ako na ang tourism natin ay may report noon kasi nagre-report sila sa national office eh. So we cannot safely
Ah,
assume na mag-entail siya ng critical analysis kasi what can be ano what can be critical if you just simply read the report and you have the answer to your question. So what makes a question critical is if you need to investigate further, you need to look at your context, you need to look at other references because you can never find it in just one, two, or three articles or one, two, or three reports. That's my point. So when you ask that question, how much we have prepared for the pandemic, no single document will be able to answer that. That will entail a lot of readings. For example, policies ni uh, Department of Tourism. Ano ba mga guidelines niya na nire-release, 'di ba? May pondo ba si tourism, 'di ba? So, ngayon nahihirapan ang mga tourism industries. Kasi walang or meron mang limitadong ayuda ang ang Department of Tourism na nag-apply ba sila sa GAA o sa General Appropriations Act ng budget para ilagay diyan sa mga as a pondo nila pagdating sa pandemic. So walang naggaganon. So pwede makikita niyo yun siya sa mga reports nila. So pwede mong i-conclude na technically kaya nga nahirapan ang tourism industry kasi unang-una hindi naman tayo naghahanda eh. 'Di ba? So parang sinabi mo nasunugan kayo. Pero ang tanong ko sa inyo ngayon is, naghanda ka ba para sa panahong ito? Naglaan ka ba ng pera sa bangko? O, 'di ba? So parang to help you build the industry again. So these are the things that you can find out when you investigate that. So that's how I encourage you to define critical analysis. Something that is unanswered but can be answered not by a single document, but by a systematic review of the
Multiple.
several documents. Okay, sige. You two can work together and I'm excited. You please contact or communicate with me every now and then regarding your progress about that. So the
Okay,
next,
sir.
although I'll be explaining it later, the next task is to write the introduction. All these things are bullets. These are all outline of your introduction. So later when you write the introduction, you will not be having difficulty writing it because you have already the guide. So these are the things that will guide you in writing your introduction. All right. So who else is from the tourism industry aside from Joshua? We have this si Ebaw. Sino to si Ebaw? Pa nagpaparamdam. Cindy. Redilias. All right. So before we call Joshua, we'll have Redilias first. We'll finish all the HRM. Who knows, pareho kayo ng topic. Eh di, lahat ng HRM, isang study na lang.
Yeah.
Ano ba? Sir,
Mm-hmm.
madungog na ko ninyo, sir.
Dungog kayo, loud and clear.
Thank you, sir. Well, anyway, good morning, everyone. So, my topic would be development of trends in hospitality industry. Um, so my critical question would be, how do trends in hospitality industry develop? So, I have come up with this question, sir,
Interesting.
because trends, I have this even sa ano, sir, sa upon enrollment, sir, this particular topic really create an sa tawag ani eh. I am really interested in this, sir, on how it develops,
Right.
how long it lasts,
Right.
and everything that circulates on the trends in
Mm-hmm.
hospitality, how it develops. So the question actually, sir, galibog yun ko kung saan ako siya pag-answer, because
Very
it
good.
seemed to me that the first box, sir, kaning standard and the elaboration is, ang pagsabot niya is, I should answer this, the research question reflects the author's theoretical orientation, and then i-answer na ko siya sa pikas. That is why most of I answered it with because and for a reason. So the first, sir, is kanang so to na, the research question reflects the author's theoretical orientation. I answered it yes, sir, because it reflects the issues being addressed and leads to influence of critical questions on how the trends in hospitality industry develops, sir.
Okay.
And then for the next, sir, is the research question carries a broad value that extends beyond the author's own personal curiosity or self-serving interest. Still, I answered yes. For some reason that the question leads the author to further dig on how these trends develop and other things affecting its development.
Okay.
Sorry, sir, my daughters. Um, Next, sir, is the research question represents an area in the discipline that truly warrants a meticulous review. Still, I answered yes. For my critical question would attest that we need to understand how trends develop, how long it sets, and what are the factors affecting its development, sir, and its setting, sir, in the
Mm-hmm.
tourism industry, sir.
Nice.
Then next, sir, is there is a research on topic or issue that undergirds the critical question must be sufficiently mature to support an in-depth interrogation. Still, I answered yes, sir, for a reason that there is a need for us to evaluate the factors in the development of trends in hospitality industry, sir. And then next is the research question must be an answered but answerable question. Still, I answered yes, sir. For my question is unanswered. However, it can be answerable. The
Okay.
author must know the scopes and limitation as well as the factors of the developing trends in the hospitality industry. Then
Okay.
for the last one, the last two then. The author has clearly established what is already known and what needs to be known about the topic or issue. Still, I answered yes, sir, because the question itself of the topic on the topic leads to an evident goal to answer the topic or issue being studied, sir. And
Nice.
for the rationale of systematic literature, still I answered yes, for a reason that it provides information and details supporting the objective of the topic being discussed. I don't know, sir, if
All
what I
right.
did is correct,
Thank
but
you. Lagi matatawag kitang Joshua. Shani, okay.
yes, sir,
Shani,
yes, sir.
you have a very good topic and a very good research question. Although it needs to be grammatically framed or
Yes, sir.
reformulated, but
Sige, dali,
the
dali lang.
purpose, as you have explained it, is a very good uh, critical question for a systematic literature review. So congratulations. So in this case, you are
Thank you, sir.
interested to see the trend in hospitality industry. My first comment, my first suggestion is to make sure that you set the scope of that. Are you going to look at the trend in the Philippine tourism or Philippine hospitality industry? Are you going to focus on a trend in hospitality industry in Mindanao only? What do you plan? What is the scope, or how wide will your scope be?
Okay.
Is it Philippine wide?
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Oh,
Philippines,
Philippines.
sir.
Okay, so it's
I
a
should
good
focus on Philippines.
study. Oy, don't exit yet.
I don't
Shani,
execute.
balik muna. Kano
Okay,
masyado
sir, okay,
excited.
sir. Yes, sir, yes, sir. Ibalik na, sir.
Okay, sige. I will be
Sige.
giving
Go, sir.
comments for the purpose of revision. So I'll be giving comments so that when you
Yes, sir.
revise, you will know what to write. Okay, so because I have said these are the basic things. This
Yes, sir.
basically are the things that you will write in the introduction. Right, so how do you answer the first one? The research question reflects the author's theoretical orientation. So when you write about this or when you elaborate this, I want you to discuss why you are interested in this research, or how will this research, or how will this critical question help you as a professional, or as somebody who's into hospitality industry. So that's the first one. So that's your theoretical orientation. Next is the research question carries a broad value that extends beyond the author's own personal curiosity or self-serving interest. So in this case, I want you to talk about the extent of the impact of your study. Who will benefit from your study? The point here in this standard is it's not just a study that can benefit you alone. It has to be a study that can benefit more than you or the immediate components of the discipline surrounding you. It has to have a broader impact. So when you say it's a Philippine context, then that is already a very broad impact for your systematic literature review. So the when you answer this, when you elaborate this, I want you to talk about how will it affect the hospitality industry in the Philippines in general, so that
Yes, sir.
you can argue na it's not just about helping myself. It's not just about out of my curiosity. I really want to help. I really want to contribute. I want to have an impact. So that's how you will elaborate that. Next, the research question represents an area in the discipline that truly warrants a meticulous review. Why do you need to study the trend? So that's how you will answer that.
Sir, we need. Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, you may not have an answer to that right now, but that is going to be your that's how you will answer that, or how you will elaborate that standard. So why is it that the trend is necessary to be reviewed? How will that affect the hospitality industry? So maybe you can argue that because when you look at the trend, you can prepare for the future. Maybe it will relate to the study of Cindy, because nobody has ever analyzed the trend yet. So nobody can predict what's going to happen next. So maybe there was a pandemic before. Perhaps there was for example, what happened to Albay when Mayon volcano erupted for how many days, for example. Were they prepared for that? So that could constitute part of your trend, right? So you can see
Yes,
from
sir.
there did it ano did were they able to build from the hospitality industry right away? So yun pa lang sana nag-trigger na siya ng input doon sa ating Philippine tourism industry or hospitality industry para mapaghandaan ang mas malaking pang pandemya katulad nito. 'Di ba? So makikita mo 'yan doon eh. So it is necessary to review the trend because the trend can help predict or the trend can help prepare for something bigger or something more serious, for example. So that's how you will argue about it. The third standard. Okay?
Sir,
As I have
if I may ask, if I may say something, sir.
yeah, go ahead.
Sir, um, sir, actually, sir, my curiosity in trend starts with, ano, sir, when way back 2019, when we were having our training as
You're
manager,
lagging
sir.
ano. Yeah, go ahead. Sige.
There's a specific professionals
Okay.
on how to
Shani, you can close your video first so that you can have a
yes,
better
sir.
audio. You can close your video
And
first.
then, sir, ko,
You can close your
ma'am,
video.
sir,
You can close your video
I
first.
have already closed my video, sir.
Okay.
Chat na lang.
Medyo
Never mind
nag-dragging.
na lang, sir. Unya na lang, sir.
Ayan, okay na.
Yes, sir.
Sige, go. Ano yun? What
Sir.
triggered you to...
Actually, sir, um, when we have our training, sir,
Mhm.
we have this particular, particular side of the food service industry, studying
Mm.
the trends in how to improve the service, sir. And
Mm.
what really amazed me was that we have even here, sir, we are practicing the I know everyone is familiar with this, the when we transact through dine in or takeout
Mm.
transactions, you are given a specific table number,
Yeah.
and then the food server will look into the
Mm.
number to serve
Mm.
an anak. But there, sir, we have a particular store there, sir, nga
Mm.
for research purpose, they do not use, ano, sir, they do not use table number. Instead,
Mm.
when the when the order is on they use a tracker, sir. When the order is on belongs to a certain table, sir,
Mm.
the tracker will kanang alarm and it will
Mm.
light green light. So
Mm.
pasabot ato ang
Red.
the certain tray, the certain food tray, it
Mm.
belongs to a certain customer nga giduol na niya. Bali si waiter dili na siya mangita og tanang table number.
Mm.
Instead maglibot-libot lang siya, pero wala na tong dili na, unlike the usual that we're using table numbers. And that's the trend they wanted to apply in the future sa food service.
Okay.
So, isa sad na siya sa factors nga
Okay.
nagkuan sa ako, nag-push ako ang
Good.
it triggered my interest on how do they develop such trend, and how long does each trend last, good sir.
Okay. Sige.
Maura to, sir.
Good. All right. Next. Research on the topic or issue that undergirds the critical question must be sufficiently mature to support an in-depth interrogation. So, when you do the preliminary review of studies, you will find there that the trend is actually being well studied. It may not just provide you single answer, or no single study will provide you a single answer on how or on the trend in terms of the Philippine setting. So you can argue by saying that there's a lot of study already about the hotel and tourism industry, but when you talk about the trend on a specific aspect in Philippine hospitality industry, it needs to be further investigated. So that's how you will answer that in your introduction. The next is the research question must be an answered but answerable question. It's an answerable question because definitely you can find sources. You argue that there are sources. You argue that it is not answered because no single document will be able to address that. Next is the author has clearly established what is already known. That will be part of the preliminary review of studies. And then the rationale of the systematic literature review. This is where you will argue the compelling reason why you need to study the or why you need to focus on the trend in hospitality industry in the Philippines. So put a spice on that. What do I mean by say by when I say put a spice to that? Spice it up a bit. You can hint about a specific aspect of hospitality industry. For example, service in or specific aspect of your service, however you want to limit it. For example, also you can limit it to the context of COVID-19 preparation or the COVID-19 effort of the Department of Tourism. You can also do that. Okay, so again, this is an interesting topic, and I'm excited to see your initial write up for this. Thank you so much. Congratulations, Shani.
Thank you, sir.
We'll have Joshua right after
Okay, sir.
next.
Sir,
Yes, Joshua.
Yan, sir screen.
na, nakita na sir?
Yep.
Should I start now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so my topic is proper implementation of sanitation standards in the restaurant sector. And the critical question is, are restaurants implementing proper sanitation standards? So I chose this topic for the sole reason that we are into restaurants or fast food restaurants in ordering, and of course we do consume their food, but the question is, are they
I think this is free.
following such standards with regards to sanitation? So to start off with, the research question reflects the author's theoretical orientation, yes. For it is the sole reason that the question is worthy of pursuit in terms that restaurants are implementing proper sanitation standards. Next is the research question carries a broad value that extends beyond the author's own personal curiosity or self-serving. Still, yes, inasmuch uh, inasmuch that it is highly regarded that restaurants shall have the proper implementation of the said sanitation
The
standards.
research question consultant.
Sir Vince, parang
Next
may voice
is
over.
I don't know about that, sir.
It's Sir Vince. You have comments, Sir Vince? Sir Robinson?
Ay, sorry, sir. Sorry, sorry. Hindi ko na-mute. Sorry, sorry.
Okay, sige. Go ahead. Continue, Joshua.
So next is the research question represents an area in the discipline that truly warrants a meticulous review. Yes, because it is of great importance that restaurants follow and implement the proper sanitation standards to maintain a clean and hygienic workplace that handles food products. Next is the research on the topic or issue that undergirds rather the critical question must be sufficiently mature to support an in-depth interrogation. Yes, for we are not informed that they have implemented proper sanitation standards in their restaurants. Next, the research question must be an answerable but answerable question. Yes, still for which we don't know that they are truly implementing the said sanitation standards. Next is the author has clearly established what is already known and what needs to be known about the topic or issue. Yes, because restaurants have implemented the said proper sanitation standards and shall declare that they are strictly implementing and following it throughout the course of their operations. And lastly, the rationale of the systematic literature review is lucidly and strongly made. Yes, because this information is vital to all patrons that would clearly lead to a conclusion in which restaurants follows the said sanitation standards. That is all, sir.
All right, thank you so much. We'll go back to the topic first.
Okay, sir.
Basically, you have answered properly all the, or addressed or elaborated properly all the standards. But I have a major concern regarding the critical question. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
when you say proper sanitation standards, when you ask the questions, this is answerable by yes, apparently. And this can be seen from, for example, if you focus in Dipolog City, then you can find this in the health reports or in the city health reports, because all restaurants seek health clearance when they renew their permits, right? So apparently there
Yes,
will
sir.
be compliance reports already. So when we'll go back to the question, can we safely assume that there's no single document that can answer this? We cannot, because it is possible that this can be answered by the reports of the city health already regarding the sanitation standards of the hospital. I have a very I have a suggestion. I want to challenge you with this question. I guess a more critical
Okay,
question
sir.
would be, uh, what are the roots of our sanitation practices in restaurants or Philippine restaurants? You know, why do we have these practices in our Philippine restaurants? For example, bakit nga ba iniinit natin yung kubyertos sa Pilipinas? Nag-iinit ba ng kubyertos ang sa ibang bansa? So yung titingnan natin yun, i-compare natin, saan nag-uumpisa? Di ba? So yun yung ating
Yes, sir.
possible na makikita. You can look at the cultural aspect. Pwede mong ibangga sa cultural aspect. Uh, why are restaurants practicing this in terms of sanitation? We are not saying that these are wrong practices. In the first place, we can also include in our systematic literature review whether these standards that we are following are really that necessary in the Philippine context. Is it is possible that these standards that we are following, that we consider as correct and proper, as you have said, may not necessarily reflect the context of the Philippines. It may be just so
Yes,
westernized.
sir.
No, maybe it's just too um Spanish in nature.
Mm-mm.
You know, the Spaniards are very maselan, right?
Yes, sir.
Baka masyado lang tayong maselan. For example, sa if you look at other neighboring countries, makikita mo na masyadong malinis ang Pilipinas sa mga restaurants
Mm-mm.
natin. Ang masebo yung mga ibang restaurants sa iba't ibang Asian countries. Eh bakit ang sobrang linis ng Pilipinas? Eh sa ibang bansa pwede magbenta ng mga pagkain sa magandang restaurant na yun, ha? Open, malikabok, ma-oil. So 'di ba? So maybe one of the
Yes, sir.
critical questions that you can ask is, anong roots ng ating pagkamaselan sa ating restaurants, sa ating standards? Saan natin hinuhugot yung ating standards sa sanitation sa
Mm-mm.
mga restaurants natin? In that case, that there's no single document that can help you answer that. It entails critical analysis, critical evaluation, or critical review of different documents, synthesis, and then find out if it is relevant to your topic or not, right? So I guess
Yes, sir.
that's my challenge to you. You can explore that instead of looking at, because if you have this question, uh, at this point,
It's already answered.
yeah, there could be some document out there that can answer this. One of the things that I'm
Yes, sir.
suspecting to contain this report is the city health, because we seek every time we renew our license, we have them inspect us, monitor our restaurants all within the year, for example, and they provide report whether you're compliant or not. And then they have their standards. You can look at also their standards. Are these standards applicable really to the context of the Philippines? And are Filipinos generally like that, or do we really have to be that meticulous when it comes to sanitation? So saan na ba
Okay, sir.
nag-umpisa ito? Kultura ba talaga natin to, or talagang hiniram lang natin to sa ibang
Mm-mm.
mga o sa mga foreign standards na naimpluwensyahan lang tayo? So yun yung magandang ipakita natin. So there's a hint of historical account, there's a hint of some philosophical account, there's a hint of some just purely practical and empirical evidence why we're doing that.
Okay, sir.
May isa bang pangyayari sa Pilipinas na nag-trigger sa atin para maging metikuloso? May isa bang outbreak dito like diarrhea nangyayari dati dahil kaya nga na mahigpit ang mga restaurants natin. Saan ba nag-uumpisa? Saan nag-uugat? So pwede mong i-trace 'yan. Tingnan natin.
Yes, sir.
That entails simple that not that simple. That entails desk research. That entails review of studies, review of documents, not necessarily going out and getting data. Again, we're
Mm-mm.
encouraging you to do some systematic literature review.
Okay, sir.
Nakuha mo siya, Josh?
Yes, sir.
Please, I'm interested to see that.
Mm.
Sige.
We'll do, sir.
All right. Thank you so much, Joshua. Congratulations.
Thank you,
So we're
sir.
done. We're done with all the HRM students. Who's going to go next? Who's going next? Sir Robinson. Sir Vince, it's your turn.
Sige sir, I'll try. Okay, sige sir. Uh, Let me share my screen. Okay, so good morning everyone. So my topic is all about engagement level and learning competency outcomes of junior high school students on online. This is remote learning.
Okay.
On remote learning. So my critical question, what is the engagement level and learning competency outcomes of junior high school students of PSHSERC on remote learning? So the research question reflects the author's theoretical orientation. Yes, because according to Pasaldia et al., they cited that uh, failure of students to complete online course is a significant problem in online learning. Likewise, according to Dixon, online student engagement is explored in three facets such as social construction, community inquiry model, and certain significance of students' engagement to online learning. So the research question carries a broad value that extends beyond the author's own personal curiosity or self-serving interest. Yes, the research question measures the engagement level of junior high school students and its learning competency outcomes. Then the research question represents an area in discipline that truly warrants a meticulous review. So the research question will assess the efficacy of the learning management system as modality in teaching and learning process. Research on that topic or issue that undergirds critical question must be sufficiently mature to support in an in-depth interrogation. There are numerous literature that will support the research question, especially on the engagement level of students in remote learning. And then the research question must be an answered but answerable question. So the scope of the study will be the junior, yes, because the scope of the study will be the junior high school students of Philippine Science High School ZRC. So the author has clearly established what is already known and what needs to be known about the topic or issue. So based on the literature, research methods and research methodology were clearly presented. So if ever this will be implemented, I have already the guide.
Okay.
So the rationale of systematic literature review is lucidly and strongly made. So based on literature
Sure.
also, essential concepts were clearly presented. So I have already the guide if this will be implemented. Thank you, sir. Hello po. What happened?
Mute ata si sir.
Ah, okay.
I'm sorry, may tumawag.
Okay then, sir.
Sorry, sorry. Okay, so let's go back to Sir Luzon's output. Okay. Uh, the same comment, Sir Vince, as with the first presenter.
Yes, sir.
I guess this is common to all except for Ma'am Shani. I really like the scope. The question is too restrictive for me.
Mm.
What is the engagement level and learning competency outcomes of junior high school students of ZRC? Remember that we are doing a systematic literature review. So the question that I will ask would be, would there be enough papers or projects that will report about student engagement and learning outcomes attainment in the Philippine Science High School, Zamboanga, or ZRC? Because we'll be conducting systematic literature review. We will not be gathering data, primary data. We'll be working on some secondary data and some reports or research reports already. So if we focus on this, this is very restrictive because it talks about the students in Philippine Science High School in Zamboanga Peninsula that may not have been studied by others yet, or we may not have enough
Ah,
data for that. Remember
okay,
that
sir.
hindi ito yung usual na research na gagawin natin. Magbabasa
Okay
tayo
po.
ng research ng iba at ng reports ng iba. So
Mm.
maybe this one is not that clear to you. So when we revise, we'll look for how we can make it. I guess I have to show again, if I may. Can I? I'd like to share. You were late, di
Wait,
ba?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
sige. So yung mga na late, I'd like to show this again. Maybe this can help you in your revision. I'm looking at my comments to your work. Sige. Okay. So too restrictive. So this one. Are you seeing this now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So sorry. Can you safely assume that the question has never been answered somewhere else? So that's the first. That's the challenge question when you formulate your critical question. Are you sure that nobody
Mm.
else has answered that question? Because if, for example, if you illustrate our systematic literature review, we can put here our answer to the critical question in this circle. It has to be answered, or that critical question has to be answered by not by just a single document or not just by a single report. It has to be a synthesis of the several reports.
Ah, okay.
So
Yes
that's
po.
how I want you to picture it out. It's a systematic literature review because if you will do a research which can be simply answered by one, two, or three papers, then you cannot engage in a critical analysis. Apparently,
Mm.
because the tendency is you will just be reporting what they have, what they have reported. Also, you will just summarize. You cannot synthesize. You may not be able to synthesize. Okay, so because of the
Yes, sir.
limitations in terms of input, so unlike when you have more in your analysis, the tendency is you will also have you have to do some synthesis instead of just summary. So you can critically examine each and find out how each of that will contribute to finding answers to your critical question. So this is how I illustrate uh, the position of your uh, critical question relative to the different studies. So let's go back to your output. Okay, so when you ask, for example, what is the engagement level and learning competency outcomes of junior high school students, this is limited. This is restrictive because number one, it just talks about one school. Number two, it talks specifically about engagement of students in that particular school, which no
Mm.
other researchers may have been studying about your school yet, or no
Yes,
enough
sir.
data may be available
Yes.
to or no enough report may be available for the document review, for example. So that's my first comment. For the rest of the standards, the first standard simply talks about why is this question important to you? Who are you? Why are you interested in this question? So, when you write
Mm.
about this in your introduction, because as I have said kanina sa mga late, the standards that we are working on are basically the outline for your introduction. So, if you look at these standards, you are actually preparing to write your introduction. Okay,
Okay.
so you're
Yes, sir.
slowly getting there. So
Yes,
we
sir.
started with the topic, and then now I'm slowly opening up that this is actually leading to write your introduction. Because I don't know
Yes,
if
sir.
you have noticed it when you are working on this output, but this is basically preparing you to write for your introduction. What does your introduction contain? It has to contain why, or an explanation or a justification why this topic is important to you. Why is this topic relevant to your context? You argue that this is within your, or this reflects your theoretical orientation. So who are you? I'm a science teacher. So I'm interested in the processes of science or teaching of science.
Okay. Yes,
'Di ba?
sir. Yes,
So
sir.
that basically that is your elaboration why when you say one of the standards is it has to reflect your theoretical orientation. Apparently, I'm interested in this because I'm a teacher. I'm teaching science, so I'll be interested in working on science. So something like that. Okay. So that is in preparation for writing the introduction using this as your guide. Next. The research question carries a broad value that extends beyond the author's personal curiosity or self serving interest. Who else will benefit from the results of your systematic literature review? Who else will
Mm.
benefit from that? So, in order for you to argue that this is not just about me, this will not just help me, this is not just to satisfy my curiosity, I have a bigger aim. So, you will talk about the impact here. So, what's the impact of your research? Who will
Okay.
benefit, or who gets to benefit from your systematic literature review? So yun
Yes,
yung
sir.
ibig natin sabihin. So dito magtutok ka ng kung sino yung makikinabang, anong gamit nito sa PSHS system, anong gamit nito sa Philippine educational system in general, for example. Next. The research question represents an area that truly warrants good. So this is a good elaboration. Although it was not reflected in the title, but maybe this is how you narrow the scope, focusing only on LMS. Good. Next, research on the topic undergirds critical question must be sufficiently mature. This is a good argument. You argue that there are studies already about it. But
Yeah.
ang bawi mo ay no single study will be able to answer that. And you have to make sure that you are true to that. Okay,
Mm.
so
Okay, sir.
it is good, but is this true to your critical question? Recall that my comment is that it's very restrictive. There can be several literatures, and I don't And a test of a good critical question is there's none, not even two or three combination of those can perfectly answer your question. It has to be a consolidation of all the several research reports.
Oh,
Yan.
okay,
So
gets na
pwede
ako,
mo
sir.
sabihin na marami nag-aaral, pero wala pang nakasagot niyan sa
Yes, sir.
tanong na
Yes, sir.
yan. Pero, pagbabalikan natin yung ating framework, marami nag-aaral. Ito sila, study N hanggang study N. Pero wala ni isa sa kanila ang sasagot nito. Kasi kailangan ko ang inputs nilang lahat bago ko masagot to. So yun lagi
Mm,
nating tatandaan sa sa systematic literature review. Eh kung masasagot siya ng isa, dalawa, or tatlo, hindi mo na kailangan mag-systematic literature review. Magsa-summarize ka na lang. 'Di ba?
okay. Yes,
Oo.
sir.
So yun yung ibig natin sabihin nun. Yun. The research question must be unanswered but answerable. So I have to bring you back to my comment about the critical question as very restrictive. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so nagets mo na kung saan
Y-
patutungo yung aking comments sa work mo.
Yes,
So
sir. Noted, sir.
I encourage you to broaden the scope and to make the sometimes ang mga trivial questions ang magandang i-deal sa isang systematic literature review. Yung mga questions na parang hindi mo maisip na kailangan pala pagtuunan ng pansin. Katulad ng tanong niya kanina. Katulad ng sinabi ni ma'am. Yung trend ng ating tourism industry, for example. Eh kung walang gumagawa ng trend in tourism industry, paano natin mapaghahandaan yung mga different scenarios in our tourism industry? So perhaps that's the reason why nagsasuffer yung tourism industry because of the pandemic. Because we have not
Mm,
studied its trend. We have not because we don't have a trend analysis of that. We cannot predict well how to prepare for that. For example, may pondo ba tayo para diyan? Pag nagka-pandemya ng ilang buwan, walang operation yung mga restaurants. May pinibigay ba tayong support sa mga restaurants? So these are all because we did a study once. So this is my challenge to you. How do you what question can you ask about the level of engagement among our students under the online learning modality? Okay,
yes,
so
sir. Yes, sir.
for example, you can ask relevance, for example, of uh, you may ask relevance, for example, of the or the um, research about engagement and the relevance of research on engagement to the context of Sambuanga del Norte learners. So yung konsepto ba ng engagement, level of engagement applicable sa atin? So that's a good critical question. Kasi lagi nating
Mm,
sinasabi, for example kami sa flexible learning system, ang isa sa mga dimensions namin sa assessment is yung student engagement. I acknowledge it's a very good concept. But is student engagement really applicable or relevant sa konteksto ng learners ng Zamboanga del Norte? I do not know the answer. But you can find out. Perhaps, ano ba ang mga elemento ng student engagement? Is it relevant to our context with the kind of learners that we have? Ano bang kultura ng mga learners natin dito? Is it worth it to train the teachers to maximize the level of engagement of our students? So these are critical questions. These are questions that no single document will be able to give you an answer. It entails examination of a lot of documents and synthesizing them to come up with the answer to your critical question.
yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir. Gets na ako.
sige.
Thank you, sir.
So, later I'll be talking about the next task, which is to write the introduction. But for now, I want you to prepare for the introduction part. So, it's going to be the write-up already of those things that we have asked as our standards. Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
Sir
you, sir.
Vince. Who's going to present next? Who wants to present next? We're down with Nisa is done. We have Sir Lloyd. We have Sir Lloyd.
Yes, sir. Ah,
Morning, Sir Lloyd.
morning, sir. Ako na, sir.
Yes, sir. Ikaw na, sir.
Sige sir, mag-share screen ito. Okay. Nakita na classmates, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. This is my report. My topic is engineering education and in time of COVID-19 pandemic. My critical question is, how do engineering students adjust to the demands of FLS during this COVID-19 pandemic? Now, does the research question reflects the author's theoretical orientation? Yes. As a researcher, my goal is to understand how individuals react to change in time.
Good.
Second question is, the research question carries a broad value that extends beyond the author's own personal curiosity or self-serving interests. It will help the college understand its students. Third,
Please.
the research question represents an area in discipline that truly warrants meticulous review. Yes, in the field of engineering education, as a broad research on the topic or issue that undergirds the critical question must be sufficient, mature to support an in-depth interrogation. Well, yes, because the whole world is affected and discussing the topic right now. The research question must be unanswered, but answerable question. I guess yes. These are unanswered questions because since COVID-19 is new to everybody and everybody is adjusting, the author has clearly established what is already known and what needs to be known about the topic issue. We know that COVID-19 pandemic is affecting everybody or everyone. The rationale of systematic literature review is lucidly and strongly made. I need to know what or how students adjust in times of sudden and huge changes in education system.
All
Uh,
right.
the main intention is how this research affect and how it helps the engineering college or engineering course as a whole.
Okay, so
Okay, sir.
your your scope is the engineering Philippine context of engineering education, not
Yes,
just
sir.
GRMSU. Good. Okay,
Yes,
so
sir. General.
all right. The topic engineering education in time of COVID-19 pandemic is a good and a timely topic. Although you may simply remove COVID-19 and just simply stick to pandemic, because later when we look at the general relevance of your research, we may not simply say or relate it just to the COVID-19. It can be to pandemic in general, or uh, any form of disruption for that matter. Okay. Critical question is, how do engineering students adjust to the demands of flexible learning during pandemic? Okay, so the question is pertaining to the manner engineering students adjust to the demands of flexible learning system. So let's go back to the question. Um, is it safe to assume that this question is never answered or has never been answered somewhere else? Is it safe to say that nobody else has done a study and no report can be found for us to answer this question?
Uh, maybe no.
Yeah. Ano yun, Sir Lloyd?
Maybe yes, maybe no.
Yes, maybe yes. Why?
Because everybody is still adjusting.
But So you acknowledge that there's a possibility that somebody else has done a study, or there's a report about how engineering students cope with the demands of the uh, education under or during a pandemic, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in that case, it may not entail critical analysis at all when we focus on something that we can perhaps source from somewhere, or from a report of some or certain organization or school. Although this can be verified when you start your preliminary review of studies, but at this point, I'm raising it as a caution because I don't want you to engage or to invest or start an investigation, and then later on or eventually you found out that there's already an answer to this question. So I'm not totally rejecting it at this point because, as you have said, maybe yes, maybe no. I'm just raising a caution or a warning that it is possible that along the way, when you read articles, you will encounter one single article that can give you answer to this already. So in that case, your purpose of systematic literature review is already been answered. So it did not undergo critical analysis anymore because all you need to do is just report what was reported by that study to answer your question. Okay, so we can broaden its purpose or its objective still on the engineering education in times of during a pandemic. So maybe you can ask, is the Philippine higher education, or is the Philippine engineering education ready for a pandemic?
Mhm.
So that will entail analysis of our CHED memorandum orders, policy standards and guidelines. Are we preparing for a changing landscape in the Philippines? So in terms of engineering education, for example, um, look at all aspects of engineering education in terms of faculty development. Is CHED preparing the faculty for pandemic? So ngayon, nagkakaproblema yung mga engineering teachers para magturo under this flexible learning modality. Pinaghahandaan ba ito ng Pilipinas? So yun yung ano natin, yun yung titingnan natin dito. So let's come up with an ano, um,
Kung kay application ba
it
ya
could be that
nagong
nobody else has
nag-report sila din. Para na po ko idea unsa ko isulat.
it could be that nobody else has boldly claimed that Philippines was just sitting down, relaxing before the pandemic. So, we have been talking about the VUCA, we have been talking about the uncertainty of the context of higher education. But is the Philippines really preparing, or is CHED really preparing for that? So right now, if you look at what happened, CHED released its flexible learning system guidelines way later than the rest of the HEIs. So there could be one report that will show this, or there could be one review of documents that could show this. So critical analysis in this case would entail evaluation of our CMOs, evaluation of the different studies that look at the readiness of the Philippines in different disruptions of the higher education, for example. So if you come up with that report, it may be a controversial report, but it's a very good report because it will help people understand how or where we are right now. So perhaps kung we know that CHED you know, did not do well in terms of preparing for this pandemic, but to what extent? Maybe we can elaborate that. There's an aspect of preparation that we can include so that we can have a claim of Philippines was not ready. So how do we do how do we move on from this? So nangyari na to. If another pandemic will come in the future, what should we do? So that's the impact of your study now. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay
that
na siya
could be
ka-title, sir? So, yes.
Yeah, that
Critical
could be a
question
good
is
question. Is
Philippine
Philippine
engineering.
engineering education
Prepared for the
prepared
continuous education.
for disruption in high or in learning or learning disruption?
Okay.
Prepared for a learning disruption. So in that case, it cannot be answered by just you cannot just argue from a single document in that to answer that question. Kasi that's a very controversial question. And as I've said kanina, sometimes yung mga magagandang question for systematic literature review ay may mga trivial ones, yung mga hindi mo naman iniisip na uh, kailangan pagtutuunan, but it helps when you investigate. So in this case, when you investigate the readiness of the Philippine higher education or engineering education for any disruption, you will be able to give an analysis or an insight to explain what is going on in HEIs right now. So maybe you can look at the context or the situation of different HEIs based on report of HEIs. That's one source. CMOs of CHED, for example. Okay, so that could be some sources of your studies. And any other literature or article about or that discusses the Philippine higher education relative to any disruption or any like the pandemic. So let's not single out pandemic. Let's focus on disruption
Action.
or learning disruption for any learning disruption. Kasi maybe we can look at also, for example, Sir Lloyd, yung mga situation ng ano ba ang mga areas na may disruption sa learning, yung yung sumabog yung Mount Mayon. Ilang months silang
Okay.
walang klase. Yung nagbumuga ng ano, yung Mount Taal, ilang months silang
Okay.
walang pasok. So, ano na ang nangyayari doon? So, it could have ano, kung sa ating critical analysis, pwedeng lumabas doon na nag-warning na naman sana eh. Dapat natuto na tayo sa nangyari doon sa Mount Mayon, for example. Sa Yolanda, for example, ilang months na walang pasok. What did we do? Sana hindi na ganito ka hirap pagdating sa education. So perhaps these are the things that will come out. I'm not saying that these are really what will come out, but this could give or that this could explain what we are experiencing now under the flexible learning disruption. Disrupt. DISRUP. Disruption.
Disruptions.
Disruption. Distraction.
Disrupt. DI. Pang engineering ginay mo, sir. Disruption. Disruption. All right. Okay. For any learning disruptions. Okay. Yun. So, implication of your research is this could better prepare engineering or colleges with engineering programs in the future. How else can they better prepare engineering? So you can look at the nature of engineering courses. Can engineering courses be 100% delivered online? Can engineering courses be 100% delivered via other flexible learning modalities? Yun. So, applicable ba sa atin yung flexible learning ngayon? Applicable ba sa engineering yan? So, yun yung mga pwede nating ma-discuss na points dito, Sir Lloyd. Sige.
Yes, Daddy.
Others who would like to give additional insights?
Hey.
Okay. All right, let's look at the question. So in your introduction, when you answer the research question reflects, very good. So for your elaboration for standard number 1, that's a good elaboration. You are simply saying that, of course, because I'm a researcher. Saglit lang, Sir Lloyd.
Ah,
Alexa.
yes, yes, sir. My goodness. Tapos, okay. Okay, sir.
Okay, so number one is a good elaboration. You argue that because I'm a researcher and I'm an engineering instructor, my interest definitely would look at how students or engineering students would react uh, in a particular learning disruption. Okay, the research question carries a broad value. It will help college students or colleges or universities understand its or their students. Okay, good. So maybe you can extend it or make a wider implication of that, not necessarily to the college, but the university. It will help the
Okay.
HEIs understand their engineering students.
TTIs.
Yeah, or higher learning institutions.
Oops.
Next,
Okay.
standard number three. It's not moving, Sir Lloyd. We move down. Number three tayo.
It is?
Ay, okay na to number one mo, sir.
Okay, sir.
Oo. Yung number two kanina ang tinutukoy ko. It will help universities understand their... Of course, when you write the introduction, it's not just a one-liner. Ano? You will elaborate that. Paano? Anong mangyayari kapag meron kang sagot niyan? Paano siya makakatulong sa HEIs? Sige. Next.
Yes, sir.
Number three. So yun yung elaborate mo sa introduction, Sir Lloyd. Paano? Anong contribution niya sa HEIs para maintindihan niyo? The research question represents an area that truly warrants a meticulous review. Sorry. Education or learning about engineering is you argue kung unsa ka importante ang pagtudlo sa engineering para sa future engineering professional. So it's given na we have to prioritize teaching our students about engineering to prepare them to become engineering professionals, and that warrants meticulous review so that despite the pandemic or despite any disruption of learning, we can prepare our students to become uh, good engineering professionals in the future. So yan yung natin. Next is research on the topic or issue that undergirds the critical question must be sufficiently mature. You argue in this case that there are already studies about engineering, and there could be studies about engineering students in the context of learning disruption, but it is necessary to find out how Philippine engineering education is preparing for that. So, ang point lang dito is may mga studies naman, pero walang isang study ang magtutumbok or magsasagot sa question kung paano naghahanda ang Philippine engineering para sa mga learning disruptions. Lalo na i-argue natin ang engineering pa naman ang primary initiator ng mga programa or pagpapaintindi ng VUCA ng volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous learning context. So, I guess dapat mangunguna ang engineering. Ang pinaka-ready dapat sa disruption is yung engineering discipline at anong engineering education. Kasi yun yung nila Yan yung inaaral nila eh. Next, the research question must be unanswered but answerable. Yes, unanswered. Okay, that's already good. Next, the author has clearly established. The last two standards will be addressed, will be elaborated after you have done your preliminary review of studies. So after this, you will be writing your introduction, but apparently you will be reviewing studies already. Not yet the literature review, but you will be reviewing studies already to understand your topic. So from there, you will find out na, okay, may sumagot na pala nito. So hindi ko na to. Babaguhin ko na itong topic. Yun.
Okay, sir.
All right. So others, comments? If none, we'll go to the next. It's already 11:05. How many presenters are left? We have, who else?
Stop
Michelle,
share now,
you're done
sir.
with Michelle? Yeah, please stop sharing na, Sir Lloyd. Michelle,
Not
not
yet,
yet,
sir.
no? Okay, so let's have Michelle.
Sir, please share my answer.
Okay,
For
sige. Michelle or Castillo, no?
Yes.
Castillo. Michelle Castillo. Okay, there's one you submitted. 11:16. So this must be the... You're not following the file name format.
Ay, hala. Sorry, sir. I forgot. Same format with the one that we had
Yes, so
last.
always start with the
Okay, sir.
source code.
Copy.
What happened? Michelle, sure ka may laman yung ano mo?
Sir, it's in the Google Classroom, sir. The one that I submitted.
Michelle Castillo. Okay, ito na pala. Ikaw ba yung nag-email na ano?
Sir?
Yun. Okay, sige. Okay. Okay.
Pardon the kids. Okay, good day, everyone. So my topic is all about factors affecting the reading ability or abilities of the grade 7 students of Dumalugdog National High School. So the question is, what are factors that really affects the reading ability or abilities of the grade 7 students of Dumalugdog National High School?
Okay, so can you describe what you expect to do in this question? How do you intend to answer this research question? This
I may
critical
be
question.
This one, sir, for 5 years teaching in that institution, sir, I experienced that every year there are students who are not able to read
Okay.
when when they are when In fact, they are in the second level of the ano na, the educational attainment. So I am just curious of what what might be the factors that really rooted them of not being able to read, spite of they are in grade 7 na.
All right.
That is, yes, sir.
I'm not gonna ask you to present the rest of the parts of your assignment anymore because apparently I'll be repeating the same comments for
Yes,
this,
sir.
but I'll just look at your topic and your question. The same question that I'm going to pose is can we safely assume that no other document has been published or has been reported to help you answer this or to answer this question?
In in our school, not yet, but maybe in the other school, sir,
All
it's
right.
answerable.
Okay. Sige. So, um, the next question will be on the impact. Okay, the scope or the extent of your impact. Who will benefit from this? So, as we have said, maybe just out, or we have to make sure that our uh, scope of investigation goes outside of our mere or our personal curiosity and our we call that our self-serving interest with regard to the topic or the focus investigation. Okay, so how do we make what can how do we broaden the scope of this in a way that this will warrant a critical analysis? Okay, so let's look at factors. Okay, so factors that affect reading abilities. Yun lang, without grade 7, without dumalogdog.
Yes, sir.
Factors that affect the reading abilities. Would you have documents that will report about factors on reading abilities?
I might I might research on
Yes,
that.
right? So it's a very, in fact, it's an abused topic. It's an abused area in basic education about reading. Okay, so
Yeah.
that in fact that was my observation when I had several trainings in Region 9, Zamboanga del Norte. Teachers are really obsessed with reading comprehension among students in basic education.
Yes, yes, sir.
I suppose this is a very serious problem in our province, the reading ability. Okay, so what is the context of learners in Zamboanga del Norte? So how do you describe the Zamboanga del Norte learners?
Based if we based on the national achievement test
Yeah.
result, we are in a really low um,
Right.
percentage
That's right.
of
Okay, so
achievement.
did you know that Zamboanga del Norte is one of the poorest provinces in the Philippines?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can build on that. You can look at
Okay.
the factors that affect reading abilities of students from the poorest
Oh,
province in the Philippines, for example. Poorest province in a developing country, for example, which is the Philippines.
oh,
Okay, so you can look at in your critical question factors that affect reading abilities of students from poor communities or from poor provinces. So it may not just talk about Zamboanga del Norte. You can
mm-mm,
have studies from abroad, studies from very poor areas all over the world, and then analyze critically how does how these studies relate to the context of learners in Zamboanga del Norte. So you look at the similarities in terms of economic context, similarities in terms of cultural context, and then see
mm-mm,
which of these factors uh, are relevant or can help you explain or understand the learners of Zamboanga del Norte. So you will be exploring studies of reading comprehension or reading abilities of students from very poor provinces all over the world. Okay, so
mm-mm.
so that you can understand the students of Zamboanga del Norte. Okay tayo?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's the scope of your research. So in that case, you will not just be writing for the students of Zamboanga del Norte. You will be writing for teachers of for teachers from very poor provinces all over the world. So you can have
Okay.
your share. You can mention about the unique geographical, cultural, and other dimensions of our context in Zamboanga del Norte that have bearing on the ability of our the reading ability of our students. Okay, so that will be the revised focus of your investigation. Factors that affect reading ability of students from poor communities, or so you define poor. What poor means.
Okay,
Okay.
sir.
All right. So questions, others, comments. Let's have Ma'am Juby next. Belonoak.
Sir, good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. I was not actually able to prepare my presentation as I was not also able to submit it online. But listening from the previous reports of my classmates and the input from you, sir, I think I already have the topic in mind, and
Okay.
preferably I could submit it tomorrow, sir,
All right. Sige. I'll
and have
expect
my
that,
report
Juby.
next meeting, sir.
All
Okay,
right,
sir. Thank you
Juby.
so much.
Raymark. Raymark.
Remark.
I'll get back to your Raymark. Nisa is done. Daisy next. Let's have Daisy next.
For a while, sir.
Okay. Willing to wait. Ma'am Daisy.
Yes, sir. I've been sharing already. Trying
Okay.
to share. Ala, there's no answer. I have no answer in my say. Okay, for a while. For a while, sir.
What happened?
Okay.
I think it's there.
For a while. Where is it? Mhm. Yeah. Did I share?
We can see your screen now.
You can see it, sir.
Yeah.
Um, to me, sir, for my kanang assigned for my task, I'm reading a literature, an article, and I am referring to the author of the article. I did not refer it to myself.
Okay. So you're the same as the of Ma'am Nisa.
Yes, sir, but this time I have the idea already
All right.
how to do it.
Okay.
Okay, for a while.
But
Okay, this is
did
what.
didn't
Uh,
I discuss this last meeting before I gave this as a task? Wala.
Nakakakuan ka, sir.
Not yet, sir.
First light lang.
So wala siya na
Wala na
elaborate.
specify.
Okay. So wala na kuha ng expectations. Anyway, sige. Sige. So gender in the early childhood setting. What early childhood teachers are saying about gender in their setting? What do you want or what do you hope to investigate in this topic? Daisy, are you still there?
I think so.
Daisy, can you
Hello.
elaborate? Yes. Can you elaborate what do you hope to investigate in this topic? Can you share it again? We're not yet done with your output.
Okay. Ay, my internet is gone again. Mali, uy. Galit na siya.
You just ano ma'am, okay, sige.
Ano, sir?
Wala ra ba ma'am?
Nawala siya.
Nawala dyan po ako.
Sige
I'm
lang
so
ma'am.
sorry.
You just explain to us unsay imong gi-expect atong i-investigate. What kind of
Um,
studies would you look for?
the topic is gender in the early childhood setting. I was
Okay.
looking for how to introduce the gender for the children, especially they are still so young in school. So I have to do something research for this matter, kay, especially dealing with the early childhood education,
Okay,
because
so
some other children are,
you are interested in
sir.
exploring how teachers introduce the concepts of gender in early childhood.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So,
Yes, sir.
in that case, what do you expect to produce after your systematic literature review? What do you expect to come up with?
My expectation is I should come up to kaning makita
Are you expecting to come up with some guidelines for Filipino early childhood teachers? Okay. I'll wait for your write-up, Ma'am Days. Perhaps you have already the idea based on our discussion or of what is expected to be indicated in the introduction. Let's go back to Sir Mark. Ray Mark.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're
Yes,
good
sir.
now? Okay.
Yes, sir. Sir, phone naman ang gigamit pero try ra na ako sir how share
Yeah,
nga
go
ako
ahead.
ang kuan. Kana sir.
Okay,
Yep,
Besh.
we can see your
Kita
work.
na.
Ay, okay, sir. My topic is the students at most experience in modular class.
Okay.
And the critical question is how effective the modular class in the learning of a student.
Okay.
I actually choose the topic, sir, because we are now experiencing even in our little community, sir,
Mm.
even my neighborhood experienced the modular class,
Yep.
especially in the primary and secondary, sir.
Mm.
So they are really struggle
Mm.
in because some of the modules are broad questions.
Mm.
So I have here the standard. The research question reflects the author's theoretical orientation. I answered it yes,
Okay.
because the author's question should prioritize to the improvement and effectivity of the situation.
Mm.
And next is the research question carries a broad value that extends beyond the author's own personal curiosity of self-serving interests. I answered it yes, because sometimes it is the author's personal advantage to the situations. Benefactor pag gihapon ng author. And third is the
Benefactor.
research question represents an area and a discipline that truly warrants a meticulous. I answered it yes because every family in a certain community experienced the same situation as the author. And next is the research question or issue that undergirds the critical question must be sufficiently mature to support in an depth interrogation. I answered it yes because it has to verify how a student respond to the situation, and even a family member can justify how a student struggles. And next is the research question must be an answered but answerable question. I answered it yes. The question presented is most likely applicable to the respondents. And the author has clearly established what is already known and what needs to be known about the topic or issue. I answered it yes. It is because to emphasize what really the situation is, especially in the application, the application, the modular class in its new normal learning modalities. And last is the rationale of the systematic literature review is lucidly and strongly made. I answered it yes. It should be rationally for the clarification of the topic or situations and how big adjustment had been made in passing through this pandemic.
Right.
That's all.
I'm not sure if you can find relevance of your research to or relationship of your research to the work of to the proposal of Sir Robinson
Yes,
Luzon.
sir.
Have you seen his report kanina?
Yes, sir.
There could be some areas that you two can work together. If it is possible to merge your two proposals, that would be
Okay.
better. You two can talk together. You let me know if you decided to merge. But at this point, my challenge to you is you to go global just to compensate the restrictive character of your research or your uh, critical question. It may not be a critical question if all you need to do is just refer to the context of the learners in Zamboanga del Norte or even in the Philippines. It may not be just that, it may be not that critical at all. What I want to challenge you is to look at the different reports coming from all over the world. Look at reports coming from Africa. Look at reports coming from Australia. Look at reports coming from the US, from UK. Compare it with the reports coming from Asia, and then see the pattern of how effective modular learning is, or if there's a better or other more encompassing term to refer to that. Maybe you can have flexible learning. That's better. Okay, so see
Yes, sir.
if there's a pattern or a similarity across or among the effectiveness. Look at the effectiveness measures or how effectiveness is measured in terms of flexible learning. Maybe you can explore that. Okay, so what's the implication of your research? What's the impact of your research? It can help um, policymakers in basic education to decide how to better improve the implementation of flexible learning, or how to better improve, if you focus on modular, how to better improve modular aspect, or things like that. Maybe you can talk about the capacity building programs provided to teachers or offered to teachers prior to preparation of modules, things like that. So what's the trend? Is it Are the teachers in Africa are as trained as the teachers in the US to go into this? Or you can also see if the preparation of depth ed is the same as the preparation in the US, things like that. Okay, maybe you can look at these reports. Okay, tayo Sir Raymark.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you have a question regarding that?
None so far, sir.
Okay, sige. You let me know if you have questions along the way, so I can help. If there's a way that you can merge or you can combine your study with that of Sir Luzon, the better.
Okay, sir.
I also encourage others, if there are topics presented that you think you can or that can be combined with your study, the better. Kasi if there's a way na hindi tayo individual, I would be happier because I have lesser papers to check and I have lesser papers to guide, diba? Kasi pag madami kayo, ibig sabihin nun hindi ganoon ka pulido yung pagtutok ko sa bawat isa. So better if magkaka-combine yung inyong mga papers so that mas madaming oras ang maitututok ko sa bawat study. So, tingnan niyo yung mga proposals ng ibang classmates ninyo. See if kung paano niyo maisingit yung sarili niyong proposal sa kanila para you can work together. Walang limit. So, kung 5 or 4 or 3, 2, walang problema. Okay? So, hindi lang din siguro tama na kayong lahat 17, isang study lang gagawin ninyo. Medyo ano na rin yata yon. So, pwedeng isang discipline, isang paper sa HRM, isa sa MAVE, isa sa, kaso lang, mag-isa lang si Math. So, magkasama si Math at saka si MIT, for example. So, depende sa kung paano niyo siya pag sasamahin yung inyong mga proposals. Sige. Thank you so much, Sir Raymark. I hope
Thank you.
that you will consider that and let me know if you encounter issues when you start reading about the revised question or the question that I
Okay, sir.
just recommended. Sige, next, ano tayo?
Sir, may
11:30
I
na.
present next?
Sige, Ma'am Angel, go ahead.
Okay po.
Mark, Dan. Charles, wala pa si Charles, no?
Ako next, sir.
Okay, sige.
Yes, sir. Wala pa ko, sir.
Sir, nakita na ang ako
Yes, ma'am.
ang
Kita na po.
sir. Okay. First thing first, sir, I was a bit lost. Pero ni Ma'am Nisa, nga kung makita ba ko related nga topic or I will formulate my own. So pagbasa na ko sa kuan, akong gisunod ang first nga sa niya itong topic. But then for standards 4, 6 and 7 lang ang kuan nag-incorporate ra gihapon ako og views o kanang unsa ako pag derive ang ako ang giplano nga kuan. So this is my topic, reading proficiency of junior high school students. My critical question would be, what are the factors affecting the learner's comprehension in reading literatures written in Filipino? So since I'm a Filipino major, sir, so the research question reflects the
What do
author's
you mean by
theoretical
literatures?
Any
Literary
yes, sir.
items?
Yes, sir. Novels,
Can you
poems,
check if literature is synonymous as literary accounts? I'm not sure kasi it will I know that you're referring to some literary accounts, but it may have a confusion. It may have a kasi literature could mean yung studies or articles in journals. So I want you to see if literatures, the word literatures is synonymous as literary, anong tawag niyo? Literary.
I think it's not synonymous to literary accounts, sir. I searched it in
Yes,
Google.
but you're referring to literary, di ba? Literary pieces.
Writings. Yes, sir.
Literary
Yes, sir.
writings, not literature.
So I'm gonna change this to literary writings.
I think because you're referring to literary writings. Yeah, I'm not
Okay,
sure also pero you have to I think you are you know better about that.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Sige. So, reading proficiency, perhaps you can work with who's that on the reading ability?
Me, sir, kasi
Yeah, so in this case, you can also broaden the scope of your reading ability to look at or to compare reading ability in English spoken as a second language, and mother tongue based language or mother tongue language. So
Yes,
maybe
sir.
that can be an addition to the scope of your research so that you two can work together. Kasi parehong
Yes,
reading
sir.
ability, reading comprehension, ang idadagdag mo na lang, wala sa'yo kanina, itong part na 'to ng mother tongue or the local language. Maybe kasi you're looking at you are looking at English or plainly in English text kanina sa inyong proposal. So in this case, right, with the proposal of Ma'am Angel, maybe you can also look at comparison about or comparison in reading comprehension for pure English in the context of non-English speakers, English in the context of English speakers, the use of mother tongue, for example. You can also include that in your analysis to better understand Filipino context because we're very unique. Aside from the fact that we have a lot of languages, we are being taught to uh, have mother tongue based instruction in the first 3 years of basic education. So that makes the education system unique. So maybe that can also have an implication to the policy of DepEd when you do this research. Okay sa inyong dalawa to work
Yes, sir.
together? Okay, sige.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
Ma'am Angel, please communicate with, who's that again kanina?
Si Ma'am
Michelle,
Doreen.
please, sir.
Ma'am Michelle, sorry Ma'am Michelle. Okay, so I'll not ask for the elaboration, Ma'am Angel, anymore. You
Okay
know
po.
what those things mean, right? Pag
Yes,
sinabing
sir.
research question reflects the author's theoretical orientation, banggitin ninyo bakit interesado kayo niyan. Ano ba ang orientation ninyo? Ano ba ang field ninyo? Anong discipline ninyo? So, syempre, taga-education tayo. So, natural na ang orientation natin is will lean towards research about education. So, yung mga
Yes, sir.
ganon. Kung natuturo ka ng reading, naturally, your interest will be on reading comprehension. So, things like that. And then, as I have explained in the previous reports, the rest of the standards are your guide in writing the introduction. Questions?
Okay, sir. So, sir, we are going to incorporate our title, sir, no, for the critical
Yeah, oo.
question.
Kasi
Okay,
you're
sir.
referring to factors eh. Factors affecting reading ability of learners
Comprehension.
in various contexts na lang siguro or sa ano ba. Kanina, poverty yung konteksto natin. Ngayon, different context of English or spoken English or use of language. So, depende sa inyo kung paano nyo siya inaro. Pwede mag-focus ng kayo
Okay,
sa isa.
sir.
Pwede kang sumabay sa kanya. Poverty lang ang ititingnan natin. Mawawala yung pagiging mother tongue natin. Mawawala yung pagiging Pilipino. So, pwedeng focus kayo sa English. Tapos, konteksto ng mga mahihirap na bansa lang ang focus niyo dalawa. Yan
Okay,
kung
sir.
okay sa'yo.
Opo.
Sabayan mo yung talagang original proposal ni Ma'am Michelle. And then you help her.
Okay,
Especially sa
sir.
literature review. Okay. We'll have
Sige,
next.
thank you, sir.
Who's next?
Hey, sir.
Ay, Ma'am Narbasa.
Sir, can you please share my ano, sir? Katakong gipasa, sir. I'm using my cell phone.
Sure.
Thank you,
Narbasa.
sir.
Wala man ko yung receive nga submission ni Narbasa di ay.
Wala, sir. Sure, Miguel. No, good. Wala. Wala, sir.
Kita na to. Joke lang na bitaw.
Wala ra ba na tanan answeran, sir?
Na zero.
Ayaw lang po, sir. Nabisi game module, sir.
Bantay mo na yung module. Okay. Kita na?
Okay, yes, sir. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, sir.
Mm.
If you can see na ako yung mga wala gipang ansiran kay na confuse ko sa
Wow.
question. So,
Mhm.
ako lang i-share sa inyo ako ang nakuanan. Okay, my topic is problem and challenges encountered in teaching TLE during pandemic, especially
Nice.
modular type of learning.
Good.
And then the critical question is how to assure the effectiveness of teaching TLE or TBL without letting the student perform. Kay sa TLE mga good sir is more on performance sa
I know.
student. Then
Yeah.
today we are not allowed to do face to face, so dili maka-perform ang students. More on
Okay.
theory lang yun sila.
Right.
Okay, the research questions reflect the author's theoretical orientation. Yes, it is very important to the authors because it is timely and need to address immediately to improve the
Very
educational
good.
situation, especially in the field of teaching TLE during this time pandemic.
Very good.
Okay, the second question is the research question carries broad value that extend beyond the author's own personal curiosity and self-serving interest. Education is not only the student, the teacher's concerns, but it is everybody's
All
concerns.
right. So you elaborate that in your introduction. Who is that everybody? Who else will need to
Benefited.
have or will be affected by that study? Okay.
Okay. Down. Mula ko. Okay, the research question must be an answered but answerable question.
Okay.
Yes, the authors find it unanswered but answerable question because of our situations right now.
Okay.
We are not allowed to have face-to-face and find it hard to teach, especially teaching TLE and TVL
Yeah.
area that needs the student to perform to enhance their skills.
All right. Very good.
Moro to siya, sir, ang
Okay.
answer.
Sige. So uh this a very good proposal. I agree. There is a need to investigate how TLE and TVL is taught in a modular learning modality. So
Yes,
maybe not necessarily effectiveness. I don't want to see the word effectiveness in your critical question because
instead,
it entails
sir.
empirical data. You just simply ask the question, how is TLE or TVL taught under a modular
Okay,
learning modality? And then you look at
okay, sir.
experiences from all over the world. How do they teach TLE with under modular learning in other countries? And then see the pattern.
Yes, sir.
Okay? So and
Yes,
then
sir.
output mo dyan is what or how can we improve our TLE teaching in the Philippines? Will it apply in the Philippines or talagang hopeless ang pagtuturo ng TLE sa Pilipinas? So tipong ganon. Look at the
Yes,
type
sir.
of learners in the Philippines. Kaya ba ng mga learners ng Pilipinas na modular ang pagtuturo ng TLE? So kapag magtuturo ka ng pagbe-baking, i-demo mo sa Zoom and then ipapa-imagine mo sa kanila na ito yung lasa.
That's the big ano sir, challenge
Problem.
sir kasi ano sir, not all sir na ay
Yeah.
internet access.
That's right. So look at those things. How do
Yes,
how
sir.
you bring the situation of other countries in terms of teaching TLE in modular type to the Philippine context. So yeah,
Yes,
very
sir.
interesting. It's a good proposal. Thank you, Ma'am Narbasa.
Yes, sir. Welcome.
Good luck. We'll have
Sir,
our
excuse
next.
me, sir.
Yes, Ma'am Juby.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Sir, kasi TLE teacher pod ko, sir. Pwede magkuan lang
You
mini
talk
Ma'am
to Ma'am. You
Narbasa,
talk to
sir?
Ma'am Narbasa. After this,
Yes,
you have
ma'am.
you collaborate.
Yes, sir. Thank you kay sir.
Okay, so but
As
you
I
help.
was listening man good, sir, murag kuan good kanang makarelate kay ko ni Ma'am kay TLE teacher man po ko
Yeah, go
sa
ahead.
secondary, sir.
You can
Yes,
Okay, thank you,
ma'am. You're
sir.
very welcome.
Okay, Ma'am. Thank you,
sige.
Ma'am.
We'll have next. Uh, Michelle is done. Charles, we'll have Charles. Last na si Charles, di ba?
Nakabakot, sir.
Ay, Mamayan. Sige, dalawa na lang. Charles and Mayan. Sir Charles? Yun. Charles, you can start now.
Sir? Hello, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Now, yeah, we
Hello,
can hear you now.
classmates. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, sir. So, my topic is the low level of reproductive health knowledge among youth. So, I actually got
Okay.
this topic from a survey literature,
Mm-hmm.
and it actually reveal the data that there is a low level of reproductive health knowledge
Okay.
among Filipino youth. So, but they did not state the reason why there is, and this is the part of that is the part of the literature that I wish to investigate further. But I'm actually
Mm-hmm.
caught in a dilemma, sir, because when I have two critical questions, I caught in a dilemma of deciding which critical questions that I'm going to go through. And that's
Mm-hmm.
why I also need your guidance, sir. So mine
Yeah.
my first choice was why I will go directly. Why is it that there is a low level of reproductive health knowledge among youth? By the way, I come up with this topic because there are really underlying effects of low reproductive health knowledge among youth. So the United Nations Population Fund clearly states that it is very important because reproductive health knowledge is very important for the Filipino youth. That is why we have problems about teenage pregnancy. We have Filipino youths, and the 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 result of the test conducted by the UPPI is very alarming because a lot of the Filipino youths, when it comes to reproductive health knowledge, don't even know about the STIs, the HIV, AIDS. Although reproductive health knowledge is a very broad discipline, I guess, but might also limit this topic in the future, sir, based from your recommendation. So my first one is I would like to go directly why there is a low level of reproductive health knowledge among the Filipino youth. But that question is I did not see any future relevance of that question. So instead, I switched my critical question to how can school and parents address the low level of reproductive health knowledge among youth. And then going to my standards, I also had wrong interpretation also and wrong understanding about the standard questions, sir. Sorry, but I just also would like to make some justification and clarification. So the research question reflects the author's theoretical orientation. Of course, for me, I am a social science major, and mine is to focus social issues. So I am focusing with this topic, and I think it's also relevant. Although it's unlike COVID-19, that it's really timely. We all know that the issues about teenage pregnancies or reproductive health, the effects of not having enough knowledge of reproductive health knowledge is still going on, and we're still suffering the consequences of it. And the other question, standard question is the research question carries a broad value that extend beyond the author's own personal curiosity or self-serving interest. I guess for me, I think this is also very relevant because I think most of the teenagers must be knowledgeable when it comes to reproductive health knowledge, and that is also stated by the United Nations Population Fund that a lot students must be more aware with their reproductive health, as this could also have some future effects to the students, and especially when it comes to their decisions in building a family, and there some because a lot of there are now some cases of sexual risk behaviors. So one of the causes of having sexual risk behaviors among the Filipino youth is the lack of knowledge of reproductive health. And then another standard question, the research question represents an area in discipline that truly warrants meticulous review. I think there are a lot of datas revealed, but it's just only the datas, only the percentage, but the researchers or the authors of the literature that I'm reading did not give any further recommendations, did not give any uh, with the data revealed, they did not expand any further how they could address the issue. Like they just state in their summary that we organizations or the LGUs or our government should look into or address the low level of the reproductive health knowledge among Filipino youth. And that's it. What are the programs? What are the interventions that parents and schools should also do? So there are no clarification investigations in that area, and that's where I want to take my
All
study
right.
if given a chance. And
All
then
right.
the research on sir, yes
Yeah,
sir,
go ahead.
okay
Sige.
sir. And the research on the topic or the issue that undergirds the critical question must be sufficient mature to support in-depth interrogation. Once again, for me, I think the research topic and question is fully supported with updated literature simply because it is still current issues that needs to be addressed.
Okay.
And another thing is the research question must be answered by answerable questions. There are research question. The research question is answerable even by own personal beliefs. However, a formal study is needed to come up with the concrete underline with with concrete underlying cause to the problem, which lead to a uniform and much more effective solution. So I think it's an answerable question because we can actually address this, and I think clearly we can say that the parents or the school has a big role when it comes to addressing the reproductive health knowledge among the youth. But it's not clear. There are a lot of uncertainty, and I think maybe a formal study should be done also so that we could come up with good interventions. And the author has clearly established what is already known and what's need to be known about this topic. Yes, there are datas, but it is only datas and a very few summary and conclusions. This is actually a survey conducted by the Young Adult Fertility and Sexuality Study, but all they did is just only give datas of how many females, what are the percentage of females, but there are no recommendations on how to address the alert the how to address the issues that we can see or underlying issues that we can see from all of those datas. And the rationale of the system of the literature reviews is lucidly and strongly made. The interpretation of the author analysis and conclusion are based from actual statistical survey. So that's all, sir.
All right. Very quick suggestion on the focus of your research. Parents
Yes,
and
sir.
teachers may not be necessarily mentioned in the critical question, but you can have a more
Ah, yes, sir.
generic critical question, like you can ask how uh, how to better teach reproductive health among Filipino youth.
Ah, okay, sir.
That in that
Okay,
case, that
sir.
would entail strategies of schools, strategies of parents,
Yes,
but
sir.
you frame it in a more generic tone, in a more encompassing
Ah, okay,
tone,
sir.
like how to better teach reproductive health among Filipino youth. That entails teaching in school or teaching at home. So you read articles, you read reports from all over the world, how they are teaching their students about reproductive health. Compare it with the context of the Philippines if it is relevant or if it is
Yes,
applicable.
sir.
So if it is
Okay, sir.
applicable, come up with a synthesis of strategies, and then that's going to be the output of your systematic literature review. So what we need to see in your systematic literature review as an output is what do you want to propose to the schools now? What can you propose to the parents now? How do you want the
Yes, sir.
parents to teach reproductive health among their youth? How do you want the schools to teach
Yes, sir.
reproductive health among the youth? But basically, you did not include the parents and the school in your critical review. You just simply allowed it to emerge.
Okay, sir.
Okay tayo?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Sige. Sir Charles, you let me know if there are issues that you will encounter along the way.
Ah, okay, sir.
At any rate,
So
this is a good plan. This is a good proposal. Thank you.
okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so we'll have the last presenter. We're down to the last, right, Ma'am Mayan?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Honestly, sir, kanang I am not confident to present my output upon hearing all the output of my classmates and your comments. But anyways, my topic is
Mhm.
the effectiveness of online class to
Nah, this is related to the
kindergarten to
previous one.
learners in Aracata
Whose
City.
whose proposal was that? The effectiveness of modular. Who, di ba meron din yun?
Si modular.
Meron ba yung nakapag-propose na ng online or modular? Anyway,
Online.
sino yun?
Umuwad
Sir
dagan.
Vin, sir.
Ay,
Yes, sir.
Robinson
Sir
yata,
Vince.
sir.
Sir
Sir
Vince.
Vince. Oo, sige. Maybe you can also see again whether there's a relevance of this paper to the two of you, if you can if you
Sir
can
humuwat po, sir.
yeah, if you can find a way to combine the focus of your proposals. Sige, so the effectiveness of online class, again, the same comment is going to be very restrictive this time to look at the effectiveness of online class. Maybe the more generic term to see is how to effectively implement online class to the Philippine basic education context, for example, and you can pattern it from the different online class models from all over the world, and see which of these will apply to the Philippines. Okay, so knowing that our Philippines is has a very slow internet connection, how what will work, what will not work in the Philippines. So perhaps one of the recommendations or one of the conclusions after this is you will say that DepEd is really not thinking when they drafted the policy about how they conduct the flexible learning system. So pwedeng ganon. So maybe you can look into that. A more generic focus of this, Ma'am Mayan, is to look at the different models of online learning or online instruction from all over the world and see which one applies to the Philippines.
Okay, sir.
Sige. So, I'd like you to uh, talk with Sir Vince, Sir
Yes,
Remark,
sir.
Okay,
if
sir.
there's a way that you can, but don't force, ha, if really you cannot have a common study together, then the last thing to do is to work on your own. But if there's a way nga combine, the better. Again, for this
Okay,
study,
sir.
mamayan, focus on focus on what model of online class will work in the Philippines.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Sige. So, are there comments? Okay, so general comments regarding all the presentations and regarding my comments about my comments about our activity so far. Um, we are slowly going to the frame of systematic literature review. We have done the topic and we have polished our critical questions, and then the next thing to do is to use these standards as your guide in writing the introduction. I'll be giving instructions and standards with regard to writing the introduction. I'll post that in in our Google Classroom, and I guess you can spend 2 weeks working on the introduction because that entails reading already. So at this point, you will be reading. But I have to remind you that this reading this time is not the reading for gathering the data for your systematic literature review. Hindi pa yon. Magbabasa tayo dito to understand our proposed topic. Okay, so this preliminary reading is to understand and to know more about our proposed topic. So perhaps natay makita dito nga mag-ingon nga ang atong topic di ay is na answer na. So we will look for another topic. Okay, so the literature that you will read as part of your data for your systematic literature review is different. You will do that after you write the introduction. After you write the introduction, we will talk about the method, and then that's the time that you will gather the data. The data that you will gather are basically the literature or the reports or the data from different sources. Okay, so again, duha ka klaseng literature review. Literature review just to understand the topic, to read about your topic, and to know about your topic, whether what you see as unanswered is really unanswered, what you see as answerable is really answerable. Okay, so that's what I want to see in your introduction. So that entails reading. Okay, so what you expect to happen? We'll spend 2 weeks working on the introduction. Mean to say, I will not meet you on Sunday again, but you have the time now until the next meeting to do the introduction. And then after the introduction, we meet again for the methods of your systematic analysis. It's not going to be that late yet. We still have time. Perhaps your review of literature or systematic literature review can be done in 1 month. And by the end of this semester, you can really have an analysis or a report. Okay, so expect my instructions to be posted in Google Classroom anytime until tomorrow. If I can post it after this, I'll post it. I just have some other things to add in that instruction, but I hope to post that not later than Monday. Okay, so work on that. Read studies that can support your plan or your topic, and then write your introduction. You can use the standard as your guide in writing the introduction, and then submit next Sunday or next Saturday, so that we can have something to comment on our next meeting, which is what was the date of our next meeting? Today is 11. Next meeting is 8. Next meeting is 25. We'll meet again October 25. But deadline for the introduction will be earlier than October 25. Okay, so
Okay,
I'll
sir.
be sharing before we end, I'll be sharing this completed article just to let you see how it looks like, or how a systematic literature review look like. This can be this is an example of a systematic literature review. The title is High Impact Teaching Practices in Higher Education. You see how broad, and you see it's too broad, but it's too focused also. So it focuses on high impact teaching. So teaching, non-exemplars of teaching will not be counted. So the purpose of the systematic literature review is to investigate unsay mga best practices of teaching in higher education. The same way that as I've commented to some of your paper, you can focus on uh, factors on that affect um, tawag nito, reading ability, for example. Okay, so are you seeing my screen? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The high impact teaching practices in higher education, a best evidence review. In this paper, we report on an attempt to systematically discover reliable and high quality evidence on teaching practices that have an impact on student learning. So the focus is very simple. The reason why I chose this is it's very simple. You can see from the article that's a very simple purpose. I just want to know what works well, what works best, what will work in the Philippines. You can pattern from this literature review. Anong practices ang gagana sa Pilipinas? So, paano ko siya gagawin? So, basahin ko yung mga practices nila, titingnan ko kung sa anong aspeto ng kanilang practices ang magwo-work sa Pilipinas. Yun yung output ko. Yun yung ipopropose ko. Okay? Okay. There's an abundance of literature and good teaching. So, di ba, standard natin, dapat well-studied ang topic. Pero may kulang, including a growing number of widely used texts offering research-informed advice for higher education. However, dito papasok yung unanswered. It is answerable because there's a lot of literature, but dito papasok pag nag-however na siya, merong kulang. So, ito yung gagawin niya. Okay. So, yun. Okay, so this paper presents the findings of a systematic approach to review of studies investigating the effects of different curriculum design and teaching practices on learning outcomes. All right, so basically, I can post this in the Google Classroom and see and read this one and see how you or what aspects of this article you can adopt in your own systematic literature review. Okay, questions?
Sir, are you going to post a recorded meeting?
Yeah, okay
Just,
lang.
okay.
Sige.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sige. The first two sessions have been, the recordings of the first two sessions have been uploaded in my YouTube channel just for the video lectures or the lectures. Di ba may 7 subscribers ako? Pag magsa-subscribe kayong lahat, 17 na yun.
Subscribe na po, sir.
Done, sir.
Okay, what happened to your plan to have a GC? Were you able to do it? Who is
Nana,
Yes,
sir.
facilitating?
sir.
We had one
Okay.
already.
Okay, sige. Please, if ever I have an instruction, I can also just send it to Ma'am Cindy so that Ma'am Cindy will post it in your Google Classroom or in your group chat. Okay lang?
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Okay, sir.
sige, sige,
Pwede na
sige.
po, sir.
That would be faster. So it's easier. It will be easier for you to communicate na and to plan what studies can be combined. If you're interested to help one of your classmates, then maybe you can just offer your help, and then can I just be your can I just help you in your research? Makiki-ride on ako sa research mo. I'll help you. Pwedeng ganun. You just
Sir, excuse
make sure you
me.
agree. Yes, ma'am Ann.
Sir, pwede sir tulo mi kabuok sir or upat sa isa ka
Sure.
kuan. Parihara mami og program sir.
Sure, sige.
Si Ma'am Belonoak, si Sir
Okay.
Humowad, si Sir Ma'am Nyangga and me.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
sige.
Umuwad.
Okay. So,
Okay.
Sir.
Sige,
sige.
ma'am. Okay.
Okay, so you let me know. Just inform me ha kung unsa inyo na pagdesisyonan
Okay,
so
sir.
that
Yes,
hindi
sir.
ko na kayo sisingilin. The better pag
Yes, sir.
kukonti tayo kasi pag konti lang yung outputs na gagawin natin, ibig sabihin matututukan talaga. Makakaproduce tayo ng quality paper. Remember that I really want you to publish after this. It's not just to satisfy the
Oh.
requirements of this course. We'll write it for publication purposes. So you better read, you better study not just the content of your or not just your topic but also the process of doing systematic literature review. I'll be discussing the method, but it will help if you read in advance. Okay na?
Yes,
Questions?
sir.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Encounter problems or
Sir,
concerns?
permission
Yes,
to speak,
Charles.
sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, kanang pwede ra sir if for any reason sir kanang magkauban lang mi sir. If the same ra ang kuan sa mo
Kinsa
ang
imuhang
study.
kuan. Yeah, as I have said, yes.
Okay, sir.
Coordinate kung kinsa inyong nakita nga related sa inyong gustong buhaton or interesado
Sir,
ka.
actually sir, nanguan pud si ma'am sir kay kuan kanang mathematics man gud si Ma'am Betty sir kay colleague man gud
Oo.
ni sir. So
Betty
pwede
nga.
po siya mo Ma'am Cometa sir.
Estudyante, siya? Classmate siya ninyo?
Yes sir. Actually colleague man mi sir. Okay rag magkauban mi sir. Pero mathematics man
Cometa.
good siya sir pero makakuan na po siya sa education field sir. Okay ra
Wala ko
sir.
estudyante Cometa. Wala mo ko ana.
Betty sir, Ma'am Betty.
Ma'am Betty.
Ma'am Kristen. Ma'am Kristen.
Kristen. Oh, di sa man nagika ng Cometa.
Ay,
Si Ma'am Betty.
oo. Ma'am Cometa na siya sir, murag pa siguro na change ng iya ang apelyido.
Okay. Si Ma'am Betty pala.
Okay ra
Okay.
sir?
Sure.
Mathematics man siya. Sige sir, kay
Okay.
murag
Mas
busy man gud kay ni
yung
sir so
work
murag
pag
Okay sir, sige. Thank you sir. Thank
balikan ko lang
you.
yung attendance. We have Arbon, Bete, wala. We have Ebaw, wala, no? One more meeting for Ebaw, I'll drop her. To let her know who is this. Maybe she's your classmate, HRM people. Luzon is here. Nyanga is here. Okay, sige. So only Betty and Ebaw. Please tell Ebaw if you know her.
Kasi tingala niya, sir.
Basta si Ebaw, na-close na ako.
Basta si Eva.
Si Ebaw. HRM2. Sarado na. HRM2.
Apig si Abaw.
Ha? Di po to Abaw. Ebaw man sa akong record. Ako naman ang gikopya gikan sa registrar. As is naman ako na.
Okay, sir.
Okay na. Sige. So, manyod to na ta.
Sige, sir.
Thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Ingat.
Sige, sir. Okay.
Happy Sunday.
Bye, everyone.
Everyone.
Bye.
Thank you sir, thank you.
Order to mais, sir.
Sige, sir.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir
Bye,
Mais.
everyone.
Mais.
Oo.